Alright, hello everyone and welcome back to my Fallout 4 Mod Spotlight series, where today we are having a look at the Lahti L-35 Automatic Pistolmod, which is being made by user D. Magnus. And what this glorious little piece of work looks to add into the game is the Finnish-made L-35 pistol, which is a pretty fun little weapon that I had honestly never heard about before looking at this mod. Apparently it is, well, as mentioned, a Finnish-made gun that was designed back in the 30s and used during the Winter War, so it fought the commies, which I think is appropriate for the Fallout franchise, and I think very fitting as a historical weapon to include here in the Commonwealth, even if it is, you know, made in Finland. Perhaps a few imports got into the country. Well, yes, it's a pretty fun little weapon, so let's have a look at what we do get here in the Pip-Boy. And the standard version here does look quite nice with some good texturing, good modeling, and a whole lot of modifications that really can make this gun stand out. Now, as for its stats, it'll do at the standard level, do a base damage of 21 with 38 rounds, with a firing rate of 50, a range of 119, and an accuracy of 64. But with the modifications, you can make some very interesting guns. Say, perhaps a blinged out automatic 10mm version that's just hilarious. Or perhaps you're lucky enough to find a legendary version on an enemy and you turn it into a crazy sniper rifle pistol, which is just fun. Now, as for how you do get a hold of this weapon, it's pretty easy. It is added into the leveled loot list and will start showing up in the world at around level 12. And like I did just mention, you can even find legendary versions to make it even that much more entertaining. So let's go and look at the different modifications we do have for this gun, and like I said, they're pretty numerous. So let's head into the standard version here and start with the receiver category, where it's pretty much this standard type of receivers. You know, your lightweight, your calibrated, your standard heavy frame, hardened, etc., with various automatic versions of each, which is always quite handy to have, so you can choose between either a semi-automatic pistol or a fully auto one, which is always a good option. Now, next in the barrel category, we've just got a couple: the standard, a snub barrel, a long barrel, and finally an extended barrel for all that beautiful range. Now, next in the grip category, only 3 options of either standard, comfort, and sharpshooter. And then next we have the magazine category, where we've got a good selection here of either standard, quick eject, medium magazine, medium quick eject, and an extended with, of course, a quick eject version of that too. Then in the sights category, I am very impressed with this. I tend to find a lot of weapon mods to be lacking in the sights category, but this one's got some good options, and some unique ones, where we have either the iron sight, a typical glow sight, a reflex, a short scope, a short see-through. Then we have 2 long-range scopes that the only difference between the two is if it's on the left or right-hand side of the pistol, so it's offset to one side of the gun. We then have a see-through version of the long range, also with either a left or right option. We then also have a binocular scope with, well, both left and right options in one, and that's amusing. And then finally a recon scope, so a good little variety in here. I like it. It's not the largest of varieties, but it's pretty good, and I like the odd difference between the sides. Now then, in the muzzle category, we either have nothing, a compensator, a suppressor, a muzzle brake, or a silencer. And then after that, we have the materials for the magazine, because this is one of the fun things. We can pretty much customize each part of the gun in terms of its color, and so it's split into magazine, receiver, barrel, etc. And the first one we have here is obviously the magazine material, so we can change that between either black, blue, brass, chrome, gilded, gunmetal, nickel, or white. We then have the upper receiver material, which again, we have those same options of black, blue, brass, chrome, gilded, gunmetal, nickel, and white. All very fun. After that, we have an accessory slot here where you can choose either a flashlight, laser, or a laser and flashlight if you so desire. And I kind of like these because they're basically zip tied to the barrel, and I think that's very fitting. After that, we do have the barrel material, which again, those same array of colors for you to choose from. We then have a damage modifier if you do so choose to go and change that, where we can either start with the base damage, have 100%, which does require Gunslinger to unlock, which I do appreciate that, the highest damage modifier at least requiring something. Now all the others though, they just require some base level of gun nut, up to rank 4, granted, for 90%, but still, you at least gotta have something. And then after the damage modifier, we have the grip material, which has some different options where we have Bakelite, black, blue, green, orange, purple, red, white, yellow, ebony, ivory, purple heart, rosewood, walnut, and wooden grip, which is always fun to have those too. Then after that, we have the receiver material with the same colors that we saw in the other sort of gun part categories. We then, after that, have a stock category where you can add on a board stock, an improved board stock, a holster stock, and a speed loader's holster stock, giving you a lot more accuracy with the gun and some improved sighted accuracy, which is just good. And then finally, we can change what ammunition type this uses. We can either choose standard 38, improved 38, advanced 38, 45 rounds, or 10mm rounds. Now, the 38 improved and advanced, they don't actually require some new special ammo. It's basically, I don't know, a modifier to the receiver. It's magical bullet enhancement, effectively. So you don't actually need some special made 38 round to do it, just your standard 38 rounds, which is quite nice. And that is it for the modifications. So let's go take a look at these firing, and of course head to our usual spot, take out the gun, and fire. There we go. So with the standard magazine, only 8 rounds, and so not the most in there, and not exactly the fastest firing, but also not quite a slouch. It's got some pretty decent recoil, easy to control, just a little bit of a bounce. All in all, a good, solid little pistol. Now, once you go with something like, say, the automatic version, though, God, I love this just gaudy, gilded out thing. It's wonderful. And fire. There we are. With the automatic and 16 bullets in the extended magazine, it's a little bit more on the kick side, but still not too bad in the slightest. And this is with the compensator on the end, so keep that in mind. If I didn't have the compensator, we would of course be getting a little bit more. And I do like that sight there. It's pretty good. So there we are. And then finally, the White Death, the legendary version I was able to get my hands on, which is a really weird legendary. I really don't see why you'd want it, besides for the time slowing effect when you're sniping. But, fire. There we go. And beautiful. So, that is each of the guns in test firing, so let's head over to our usual test subjects and see how they fare, which honestly it's going to take a couple of shots to take each of these guys down because, well, like I said, this is really an early to mid-game gun, and our Randy and Will over here are modded versions that are more powerful than your typical versions of those two animals. So let's try and get them without the sneak. And the head, there we go. So, could do it in 2 headshots, but it took us 4 since we had to go to the body. Alright, let's go to the automatic version and just charge in on Randy. Because, well, I mean, it's automatic. Why not? Hi, Randy. Are you going to lay down again today? That seems to be your thing these days. But let's charge in and goodbye. There we go. It pretty much took the whole magazine, but we got him. And that is the Lahti L-35 Automatic Pistolmod. A pretty fun little weapon, and I do enjoy having a gun from, well, a country I really don't know much about the guns for, which is quite fun. It got a little learning experience along the way looking into this weapon. So yes, if you'd like to check out this weapon for yourself, which I would certainly recommend you go and do, you can have a look at the link in the description as per usual. But that is going to be it for today. I hope you all have enjoyed and that you do come back for the next episode when hopefully we'll be looking at yet another wonderful mod. But until that time, thank you for watching, And as always, have a good one!